So if you are tightening up the plan for 2022, you might be trying to figure out how to make the best schedule and routine for your real estate business. We're going to talk about it here in this video. And hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Stefanie Lugo, and I am obsessed with helping real estate agents across the country and beyond grow their real estate business and create a life that they dream of. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified every time I'm dropping new videos just like this. All right, grab your pen, grab your paper. We're not messing around today. Let's get to the tips. The first thing that you need to do to have a really great day in your real estate business is to start the night before. I know, it's inconvenient, it's an extra step, but I promise this is going to make all the difference in your productivity for the day. So the day before, in the evening, early evening, maybe when you're like shutting down for work or maybe right before bed, I want you to take literally like 5 to 10 minutes. It's not a crazy deal, but set your following priorities and look at your calendar for the next day. A lot of times we'll set things in the calendar and just kind of forget about it and wake up during the day and it kind of throws your whole plan off. So just taking a moment to review your calendar over the next day and kind of throughout the week will really help you prepare to get the day started off on the right foot. But more importantly, what I would like you to do during this time is to also set your top 3 priorities for the day. This is a little tip that I learned from Michael Hyatt. His book, Free to Focus, is like my Bible. I absolutely love all of the content that comes from him as a productivity authority. And it's one of the most effective tips from him that I've incorporated into my routine. And it's really setting the top 3 things that I want to make sure that I get done during the next day. Now, when I'm choosing these 3 priorities, I'm looking at like any of my goals for the year, things that I want to get done, any of the projects that I had set to complete during the quarter, and just breaking those down into little steps that I know that I can take. This might also include any important meetings or calls or marketing pieces that you have to set out, right? So it can be any number of different things, any combination of different activities that are definitely going to contribute to the bottom line of your business, either by completing any of those big tasks or projects that you want to get done, or helping you move the needle to getting further towards your goals. All right, the next thing you're going to do, this is now fast forward to the morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to have some sort of morning ritual. Now, this doesn't have to look like any one kind of thing. A lot of agents, and a lot of professionals, like entrepreneurs, busy people, successful people, just in general, a lot of times like they will have their own proven morning ritual. And this can look like any one given thing. So for me, for example, I am meditating first thing in the morning when I wake up. I'm getting some movement in. So I'm either hitting the gym after that, or I am going to take my baby on a walk with my family, just getting some movement in, getting some fresh air, getting some sunshine in the morning. And then of course, I'm usually finishing this ritual with a beautiful cup of coffee, because my day does not start until I get some caffeine in me. Once you have your beautiful morning ritual, which again, look up some different examples online if you have not really thought this through yet, but once we get that out of the way, we're going straight into our workday startup plan. So what a lot of agents will do is they'll sit down at their workspace, they will pull up their inbox and then get lost in the email or float around on Facebook and Instagram for a couple of hours before the real work begins. I want you to avoid doing this at all costs, because as soon as you sit down at your workspace, even if you only have a couple of hours to get some really good stuff done during that day, what you do the moment you begin your workday is going to set you on the trajectory to either having a very productive day or having kind of one of those busy work days where you did a lot of stuff and then you looked up at the clock at 5 p.m. and you're like, I don't know what I actually accomplished. So here's what your workday startup ritual should look like. Number 1, you're going to go to your workspace, okay? Make sure that it's clean-ish. I mean, I'm a total pack rat, so this is something that's difficult for me to do. I'm not the most organized person on the planet. Maybe that's surprising to you. I would be flattered if it was. But make sure that you have some semblance of control over your workspace. Maybe you're going to shut the door, have a little bit of quiet time so that you don't have a ton of distractions. And one thing that I'm always doing is making sure that my phone notifications are off. But the environment really has to feed our success. And so that's always where I'm going to kind of just take 2 seconds to review, make sure that my workspace is ready to go. While you are kind of taking stock of your workspace, everything feels good. What I'm usually doing in this same movement is looking at my goals, which I usually have printed out on my desk right next to me. I have my goals printed out for the quarter and for the year of everything that I'm looking to accomplish. So these look like revenue and production goals in our business, any of my quarterly priorities. So again, any of those big projects or tasks that I want to complete complete within those 90 days of that quarter. And what this is allowing me to do is very quickly go from making sure my environment is feeding my soul to making sure my mindset is going to be feeding my soul, so that I can be very tunnel vision focused on how to have a really productive couple of power hours, which is the next step. So after reviewing the goals, we are then going to just take a quick stock of our prospecting metrics that we need to hit for the day. So again, right after this step, we're doing power hours, so our prospecting stuff. We wanna just make sure that we're clear on how many contacts we wanna hit during that time period. Something that I might be asking myself too is, say it's a Wednesday when I'm doing this process, and I realize that, Monday got a little crazy for me. I did not hit the numbers that I needed to hit on Monday for the number of calls or emails that I wanted to make. I'm just going to add those into the plan for this work session and see if I can play a little catch up at that same time. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, I'm going to review that list of top priorities that I set the night before to make sure that I have enough time and enough space to get all this stuff done in one day. Okay, so after all that prep work is done, we're ready for the real work, which is the power hours, like I mentioned. This is a set amount of time that we are carving out into our daily schedule to get our prospecting and marketing activities done, because this is the fuel that is going to fire our business. And we want to get this done as early on in the day as possible before we get really caught up with responding to other people's crises and fires. So I actually created a really great video specifically on how to break down your perfect power hours right here. So check that out if you have not yet. But really what you're wanting to do here is make any of the calls that you need to make, right? Hit any of those prospecting metrics that have to take you to hitting your quarterly and annual goals, and then completing any marketing activities that you had dialed in for your social media or database marketing on that given day. So check out that video after this one. That might give you a little more clarity if you have not seen it yet. So for me personally, after I'm done with getting through my power hours and I've completed any of those prospecting and marketing activities I might take one last look at the inbox. And I mean, don't tell my husband Bryce this, but a lot of times I'm not actually looking at my inbox until this time of day. And this is something that he and I totally differ on. So this can be very personal. Some people want to have their hand in the inbox throughout the day and constantly be responding to any messages that you're getting. I'm not that person. I have very specific times of the day where I will go into the inbox and spend like 15 or 20 minutes just clearing out anything that's urgent or super important. So again, kind of just do what feels right to you, but I find that email begets email. And the more time I put into the inbox, the more time it takes away from more revenue producing activities. But after I've taken the time to just check in, make sure there's nothing like urgently requiring a response, I'm then gonna head out for the rest of the day. So I typically will do any lunch appointments with a face-to-face or maybe like a late morning coffee date. This is where I'm getting a really good face-to-face, like belly-to-belly networking session in. So I'm meeting with another colleague, or I'm meeting with another client or friend, and really just doing these face-to-face connections that ultimately help drive more referrals into your business. There are some schools of thought that say you need at least 3 of these face-to-faces per day to really drive the amount of business that you want to see in your bottom line. But for me, I know that if I'm getting like at least 1 a day or a couple a week, I'm usually pretty good, and I'm making sure to maintain connection elsewhere in my business. So after that midday networking session, face-to-face, whatever you want to call it, I'm then just leaving the rest of my afternoon open for any appointments on the road, right? So this is showings, inspections, appraisals, any of that real estate stuff that you just absolutely have to be present for. And the reason why I'm not scheduling these ever, if I can help it, in the morning is because at this point, I've gotten everything important done for my business. I did all of my prospecting, all of my marketing, I did my face-to-face. Like if I were to shut down the day and be done from here, I've already had a super successful day. But the afternoon, that's when we can jet around town and spend time doing more of that transactional stuff that is important to actually closing deals, but is not necessarily a revenue producing activity. And finally, after the day is done, maybe after dinner or after you have a moment to like chill with the family at home, you're just going to start back up from the top and do your workday shutdown ritual. This is super simple for me too. It doesn't usually take more than maybe 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, but I'm closing out the inbox, right? Making sure that I didn't miss anything through the day. Again, setting my priorities for the next day. So I'm gonna look and see what I did today. All right, I hit all the metrics I needed to hit. Awesome. Oh, you know what? I forgot to complete and send out that newsletter. I'm gonna make sure to put it on the schedule for tomorrow so I don't let it slip. So we're setting the next day's 3 priorities so that the next morning, you're already hitting the ground running. And there you have it. I hope you took notes, right? Because it sounds like a lot of steps, but it actually is super clean and efficient when you lay it out this way. And I want you to remember too that this is a guide rail, right? This kind of a schedule and a routine, this is a guide rail for your business, not a hard and fast rule. So these are supposed to be guide rails that help your day flex a little bit and then, recover if something happens and your day kind of goes to heck and you have to just try again the next day, right? Because the kids will get sick, childcare falls through, a client needs something urgent because a deal is about to explode, and you are going to have chaos take away structure from your days. But the important part is getting back on the right track as soon as you can the next day. Now, hey, if you are struggling in this area and you cannot figure out how to incorporate the accountability and the structure that you need in your days to have a successful business, then we really need to talk, because this is something that can be corrected pretty simply with the right help. So through the Market Authority Academy, I'm helping real estate agents all the time put these systems in place so that they can not only meet but exceed their goals year after year. If that sounds like something that is interesting to you, all the details to book a time to chat with me directly are below. We'll talk about whether or not working together is a good fit in the Market Authority Academy. Really hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, do me a solid, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Do the things that help me continue showing up here for you week after week. And the more that you're able to help me support this channel, which, by the way, a quick like and a quick subscribe is totally free. It allows me to continue serving you at the highest level possible, but it also allows me to help our colleagues who also need this assistance as well. So thanks for helping me out so I can help you out too. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, keep on crushing it.